Good day, dental professionals. You're tuned in to the Dental Flow podcast, dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Host Benjamin Suggs navigates you through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, insights, and expert advice tailored to help increase the flow of new, profitable patients into dental practices. Listen as Ben explores the latest trends, shares success stories, and uncovers actionable tips to elevate your dental practice to the next level. Get ready to dive deep into the currents of dental business knowledge and experience the dental flow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dental Flow podcast. As always, I'm your host, Benjamin Suggs with Flow New Patient Marketing. And today I'm going to be flying solo, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about a trip that I just took with my family to Disney World, which I'm sure a lot of you folks listening have actually been there as well. If I'm being honest, it wasn't a trip that I necessarily was really looking forward to, but my kids had an absolute dynamite time, as we all did, honestly. And for me, what I wanted to discuss specifically today was what I learned when I was there, the things I saw at Disney World that I think dental practices could learn from, and mostly to do with, customer experience, or in a dental practice's case, patient experience. So there's some things that I kind of wrote down while we were there that really jumped out at me that, Disney World, if you've ever been, it's definitely a world-class operation. And there's a lot of things they do to create these really, really, really rich, memorable experiences. And, my kids are 10 and 7. I really wanted to delay taking them on this trip until they were old enough that I felt like they could really remember it all, not just kind of a distant memory or they think I was there, but really remember all the stuff we did, all the stuff all the fun we had. And so we waited till they were old enough to do that, which 10 and 7, I think, was a perfect age. A lot of stuff at Disney World, I think, was a little too young for them, but they still got caught up in all the magic of it, even if it was geared more towards a younger kid. But I really wanted them to remember the experience. And honestly, we're all going to remember it forever. It was really a great trip, a great experience, and real eye-opening about how well run Disney World really is. And I think that's one of Disney's hallmarks for that theme park, for those multiple theme parks, is that they do it in a way that people will remember it for the rest of their life. So it really got me thinking about what could we as dental practices learn from them and put into our own practices to create memorable, positive experiences for patients as well. So wrote down a few things. So the first thing that really jumped out at me at these parks was just how immersive the experience is. Meaning that when you step foot into one of those parks, and we went to Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Magical Kingdom. So there's one more we didn't go to. I think it's the movie one. I can't remember what it's called, Universal Park or something. But anyway, but when you step onto these parks, it really is just this really amazing immersive experience. So, and I'm talking about everything, like the way everything looks, down to the scents that you smell when you're walking around the park, the mood music that's playing at different spots in the park. They really have put this amazing attention to the details of all those senses, so that you really just feel this amazingly immersive experience. That if you're in the Paris, France part of Epcot, you really feel like you're in Paris, France. If you're in the Morocco park, you feel like you're in a town in Morocco, sitting at a table, drinking a glass of wine or a Coke or whatever you're having. So they really do this amazing job of that. And it got me thinking about dental offices. So we've taught patient experience to our dental offices for, a decade now, just based on the things we've picked up over the years. And one of the things we do talk about is smell. I actually, whenever we have a client that has a Keurig coffee maker, a lot of times we'll say, hey, why don't you go brew a hot chocolate a few times a day, so that when people walk in, they smell that smell and not, that clinical smell that often exists in a dental practice with all the things that are being used in the back, the chemicals and everything else. But you really want to create an environment in your practice that promotes that calm nature and reduces people's anxiety, which is extremely important in dentistry. We really see that so much, where so many people have so much anxiety that they're afraid to go to the dentist. And it's because of bad experiences they've had in the past where, it was a very clinical doctor office type of feel in the dental office. Now we see our clients are building new practices that are all about that immersive experience. It feels like more like you're walking into a Starbucks than it does a dental practice, which is great. That's the kind of warm, welcoming feeling you want people to have when they walk in. That kind of nostalgic familiarity at the same time of like this warm, welcoming place. So I would just challenge you to really think about those things, like the mood, the music, the smells, the scents. Like, what does your dental practice feel like to somebody who's walking in? Is it creating anxiety or is it reducing anxiety? And think about how you can change it to reduce anxiety and to have a more welcoming feel. Another big thing I noticed is just the way the employees behave in Disney World is really top notch. They involve every employee in every piece of it. What I mean by that is, like, every employee there is empowered to solve a problem that you might have, whether it's the person picking up towels at the pool or the person at the front desk at the resort or the person who is managing a ride that, maybe a kid is scared to get on or whatever it is. Those people are there empowered to help you in every way, shape, or form. You really are rarely going to get an answer from somebody that's like, oh, I don't know. If you ask a question to the person picking up towels at the pool, they're not going to be like, oh, I don't know. They're going to go find an answer for you. So they really are empowered to solve your problems. They're also, though, empowered to really give you an amazing experience. And I think about that with dental offices is, if I'm standing in the reception area and I need something, everybody there should be empowered to help me get what I need. If I am walking through the back of the dental office, being led to my operatory to sit down and get my teeth cleaned, it really is a nice experience if every other employee in the practice stops and gives me a smile or stops and says hello. Everyone's busy doing all their own stuff, but it's such a simple thing. Just stop, smile, say hello, make me feel special, make me feel like a VIP. And that's definitely what Disney's operation is. They want everyone there to feel like, they want every little girl to feel like a princess. They want every little boy to feel like a superhero. They want every parent to feel relaxed and just to have a great time. So really just think about, what are you teaching your employees in your dental practice? How empowered are they to feel like they're there to solve patient problems? How empowered are they to feel like, they are there to make every patient feel special, warm, welcomed, VIP, whether it's their patient or not. If they're an assistant working on patient A, they still can treat patient B in a way, even if it takes 1 second to smile at them, that makes them feel special and good about being in your practice. And this is something that we've taught actually for years in our patient experience training. We have this kind of motto in there that's every patient is every employee's responsibility. And what we mean by that is that no matter whether you're working with that patient at that time, if they have a need, you're there to solve it, even if you're not directly working with them. Every patient is every employee's responsibility. So it's a great way to think about that and teach your team to have that mentality, because it's just going to make people feel very special in your practice, and it's going to make them want to come back again for sure. Another thing that Disney does very well, which honestly, this is another thing that we've taught for years for patient experience, is taking personalization to another level. At Disney now, they have these little watches that you wear. Each person in my family had one. We each had our own watch that you go around and you scan your watch. You can buy things with it. You can get onto rides with it. It basically tells them who you are and what you're doing. But I noticed that when we were using those watches and scanning things, when it would pop up on that employee's computer screen or whatever, then they would personalize it. They would use our name. They would say hello. They would welcome us. Every day when we went to the pool, with the kids, we were greeted by name. Oh, hey, Mr. Suggs, I'm so happy to see you. Hope you guys have a great time at the pool. If you need anything, just let one of our people know. But that personalization makes people feel very, very special. And you guys at dental practice, you have this ability because you have people's information before they walk in the door. If I'm a new patient and I schedule an appointment, you've already got my name. You know what time I'm walking in that door. You know everything about me pretty much. So there's no reason that you can't greet me with some kind of a personalized hello. Like not just, hey, how are you? Who are you? But hey, Mr. Suggs, so good to see you. Thanks for coming, whatever it is. We have a lot of offices that even put people's names out in front. So when you walk in, you see welcome, your name is there listed with the other patients that are coming in that day. So it's just something that it's another little nice touch that makes people feel special. I'll tell you a quick story about the Ritz, which I know the Ritz isn't Disney, but it's another organization that we really look at, Ritz Carlton, for their customer experience and how well they do it. But one of the things, we had a client who was an oral surgeon, and he went to check into the Ritz. He was a veteran. He had served in the Army for many years. And while he was there, they were getting his luggage out of his car. And unbeknownst to him, one of the bellhops, luggage folks, noticed on his car that he had a sticker saying he was a veteran of the United States Army. So he went from his car on in to check in to the check-in desk. And when he arrived at the check-in desk a few moments later, he was greeted with, hello, Dr. I won't use his name, but let's say Dr. P. We're so happy to have you at the Ritz Carlton. And let me just take a moment to thank you for your service. He was blown away that they had realized this about him, but also used it in this greeting at the front desk. So it's just another company that's doing a great job using the information they have about you to personalize your experience. So really think about that. One thing that we tell our clients to do is, especially post-COVID, is to have like little business cards, inexpensive, that say this operatory or this chair, or whatever you want to say, was desanitized for and clean significantly for, and then you write the patient's name on there. So now they look at this card and they say, oh, this is, I feel special here. I arrive at my chair to get my cleaning, and you're telling me that you guys went above and beyond to make sure everything is clean and sanitary for me. So just little things like that can personalize an experience for somebody. And the easiest thing ever is just to know someone's name. And again, as a dental practice, that Bob is walking in the door at 1:30 for his appointment at 1:45, whatever it is. So you should know who's walking in your door and thereby be able to greet them with a, hello, Bob. They're so good. Happy to see you again. Or hello, Bob. So happy to be the first person to welcome you here to this practice. You're joining our family. We're so happy to have you here. Really go above and beyond to personalize that experience and make them feel welcome and special. And they will come back and they will refer more people. Just a side note here, when we're talking about patient experience, that's really what we're talking about. Another thing we tell our clients is, look, it costs the same to give a good experience as it does a bad experience. So why not focus on giving a good experience? Because when you give good experiences, people want to come back again and again, and they want to refer their friends, their family, their colleagues, all the people that they know that they can refer to your dental practice. So whenever we sign a new dental client, one of the first things we do is we look at their Google reviews. And, to be honest, if we see that they have a 5-star, 4.9, 4.8, whatever, and a lot of really positive reviews about the experience, we know our job's going to be easier because we know that every one person that we bring in through their marketing and advertising is going to turn into multiple patients that are being referred into the practice by that person. So it's a multiplier effect. So that if, let's say, the doctor spent $150 to get that patient into the practice, well, now they're getting 2, 3, 4 more for free just by their being referred. But the way to get referrals is to give that amazing patient experience. If we see a new client and they've got like a 2.4 rating on Google and the reviews aren't great, our job's a lot harder. We know it because really those clients are relying so much more on the new patients coming in, the marketing, the advertising. They have to lean on it heavily because they're not getting referrals from the people that are showing up for new patient appointments. So this is why we talk about this stuff. So sorry for that sidetrack. But the last thing I wanted to point out is Disney is all about transparency. So they have an app that you can download onto your phone and you can pull it up anytime and see exactly how long you would wait at every ride at the resort. So they're being fully transparent and giving you this information in real time all the time. So you know what? I really want to ride that ride. It's going to be an hour and a half wait. It's worth it for me. Fine. You go do it. Or I don't want to wait an hour and a half, so we're not going to do that ride. We're going to go this ride because the wait is only 30 minutes. So they have that built in, this transparency built in. And the reason I think that's very important for a dental practice is I've even had my own personal bad experience at a dentist once that I walked out of because I showed up for my appointment on time. I was there when I was supposed to be there, and I sat there in the reception area for 45 minutes. Nobody said a word to me. I watched other patients come in, and they went back, and they were seen. I was just sitting there. Nobody checked in. Nobody gave me a heads up. Just let me sit there and wait. So after 40, I think maybe it was even 45, it's probably 30 minutes. I got up, I went to the front desk and said, you know what, just cancel this because I'm not going to wait any longer. And she was shocked. Whoa. I'm sorry, but it's just that your hygienist is running behind and, she's almost done and she'll be ready for you. And I said, look, if you had told me that 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, whatever, I would be fine with that. But you didn't bother to even check in with me. I've just been sitting there watching other people walk back. So that was a really bad experience for me. And I definitely hold to a higher standard than most people. But that's not, and they lost more than one patient that day because not only did I stop going there, my wife and 2 employees that work with us stopped going there. So they lost a handful of patients because of this one bad treatment of one person, just by not checking in. You just check in with me, let me know I'm totally fine. I can suck it up and wait another 30 minutes. But that's why transparency is so important. Always be open and transparent and let people know what's happening the way Disney does with these rides so that you're not, dumbfounded when you're like, oh my God, I had no idea I was going to be standing here for an hour. You know ahead of time. That's what it's going to be if you want to ride that ride. Obviously, there's fast passes at Disney, which we took advantage of, that you can skip those lines, which is great. But think about that, full transparency in your practice, checking in with your patients, letting them know what's going on. Most people will forgive you if you just tell them what's happening versus trying to ignore it and leaving them sitting in there in the reception area. So that's another big thing that I took away from that I wanted to share. So overall, I highly recommend going to Disney World at least once with your family. I will say that we went in September, and it still felt like those parks were built on the surface of the sun. It was so hot. But we still had a great time. We walked, I think, a total of 30 miles over the course of the week. We had great dinners, great resorts, great everything. So it was really a top-notch experience that I would highly recommend. And I would just also recommend take away from this is, how do you create this memorable, warm, welcoming environment in your practice so that people will want to come back again and again. That's what this business is all about. We're not spending money to get people into your practice to come once and not come back. The money is made when they come back again and again and again, and they become a lifetime patient for you. So do everything you can to look at what you're doing today, be critical of what you're doing today, and see how you can improve it to create a more welcoming, peaceful, anxiety-free environment for your patients. So that is all I have for today. Thank you again for tuning into the Dental Flow podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.